How do you bring in new people into your brand so that you can speak to them? How can you use blogs to be able to get people into your system? Well, today we're going to talk about that, using blogs as a way to generate leads and the mindset behind the blog and why a blog is important to use. So without any further ado, let's jump over to the Blackboard and I'll see you there. Welcome to another episode of the eCreate Biz podcast. I am your host, Caleb Becker, talking about what it's really like to navigate through the challenges of running an online business, how to get your work to serve you and your family without burnout, how to gain the freedom of a well-structured business and develop the daily habits that create this success. So my wife Cheryl, she has a brand called eCreate Stitches. I just wanted to show you a little bit about how it works inside of her brand to do blogs and how she's focusing on doing blog content and how you can do the same for your business. So she is doing her weekly blog content that she sends out to her list. And like I said, it's every week, all right? But she's also doing blog content so that she can generate new leads and bring in new people inside of her ecosystem. So we're going to talk about that and how that works. And again, like I said, what she's doing in her business, you can do in yours. All right, so just to kind of show you how this looks inside of her business, all right? This right here is what I'm going to call is her ecosystem, all right? So it's her eCreate Stitches. We'll just put it here. Okay, and inside of this is her weekly blogs. Okay, her weekly blogs that she puts out inside of her ecosystem, and she goes to her list. Okay, and out of that list, she's also has some products. We'll just go like this. She has some products that she offers. She also has announcements. We'll just call this. All right, so she inside of her ecosystem, she's been able to do her weekly content. She's been able to figure out what they wanted and be able to offer products. She's been able to do announcements and create more things. And out of all this, there's all this other cool stuff that happens inside of her weekly content, right? So right now, this is set to a certain number of people, all right? So we're just gonna go ahead and call this. There's just a certain number of people who are inside of her ecosystem. They hear from her and they get her valuable weekly content, all right? What she has to do and what you have to do inside of your business is you have to get Google over here. You have to get people that are over in Google over to your ecosystem. And how do you do that? All right, how are you going to get people from Google, which is, let's just call this a gazillion people. Let's just call this billions. All right, billions of people who are going to Google. How are you going to get them to come over here? And there's a lot of ways you can do this. All right, a lot of people use social media. They use YouTube. They use other ad platforms to get people to do that. Cheryl is trying to get people from Google over to her ecosystem by using blogs. Okay, now this right here is this is the gate. Google has a gate, okay, and she's going to try to get them through here with blogs. All right, this is how she's going to try to get people to come into her ecosystem. This is, we're going to call this SEO blogs, okay? And here we're going to be calling this weekly blogs. So we have the Google SEO blogs and we have the weekly blogs. All right? The only way she's going to get new people into her weekly content is by using blogs. The only way she's going to be able to get people into her blogs is by doing the SEO game that Google has set the rules for. All right? So Google has this system of the algorithm, and we're going to go ahead and just call this gates. All right? The only way she's going to get people to go from here is to go through these gates. All right? Is to go through these gates. The only way she's going to get them to go through that gate is by using keyword strategies. All right? So she has a brand that sews dresses. People can buy patterns so they can sew their own dresses. So there's all kinds of topics formulated around her brand. Now, we have to be able to do keyword. That's the only way you're going to get through that gate. All right? And a host of other things as well. But just stick with me here on this part, the keyword. These keywords are not what she's really passionate about, if that makes sense. Okay? She's not passionate about these keywords. Google set the rules. So how do you go from what they set for rules to write SEO so that you could get people into your ecosystem? She doesn't care about these keywords. She researched them and she found out that these are what people are searching for. Google only allows for what people are searching for and gives them relevant content. So she is creating this really super powerful, impressive SEO blog so that it pleases the Google system, so that people can go through the gate to get to her SEO blog. Once she's inside of here, we have some really cool stuff set up. She's got some free things to offer them. She's got some ways for them to take some next steps. So once they're there, they'll take a next step, which that next step will put them into her ecosystem, which this ecosystem, this weekly blog, it's no longer about SEO anymore. You're not worried about SEO. She can write whatever she wants to write, whatever she's passionate about, she writes to her list. Her list love her for it. They're paying attention to her emails and they want to buy more products. They're paying attention to an announcement she has. Whatever it is, she can speak to them directly because they are inside of her ecosystem. So the question that she has to come up with, and what you have to do, is how do you get these keywords that you'd say maybe are boring to you so that you can be enthused to write about it? All right? When you understand that people are typing in words, they're going to Google because they have a problem. They're here in Google because they have a problem. They're going to go to the search bar. They're going to be typing in how to do this or how to overcome that or what's the best way for you name it, right? And so then they're looking for an answer, and Google is going to try to provide them an answer that's relevant. When you realize that, you pick those keywords, you say, I see. This is the keyword that people are typing in. Here's the problem they're coming up with. Here's what they have that is a pain point to them or they're trying to overcome. So I'm going to use these keywords and I'm going to put them inside of my blog. All right? I might not care about how to sew a collar onto a dress, but I want to talk more about what's behind the collar. Why even go at a collar? Why would a collar even be important to you? And I want to talk more about why it's important, the why of the collar. I don't really want to talk about the how-to of the collar, but I want to talk about the why. And the why, if somebody understands the why, they're going to be able to make more sense of the how-to better. And so she's more interested in the why and helping people really understand the why that's behind it. So she's going to use these keywords to bring people in. Once she's got them in and she knows that Google is clocking this algorithm, it's understanding that this is relevant content, then she can talk to them how she wants to talk to them, but she's going to keep remembering these keywords, keep focusing on these keywords, keep making these keywords of what she's positioning her blog around. Okay, that's the strategy. You've got to understand that that's the gate. This is the gate. These keywords, this algorithm, this bounce rate, of course, like I said, it's a host of other things, but these keywords are what we're going to be focusing on now. These are the research that you can do inside of your brand. And when you understand that, okay, these are the keywords, once I get people in, I can optimize this blog for SEO, but I can speak to them how I know I need to speak to them. And when I do that, people will want to take the next step. And again, another cool thing is this is the filter, all right? You don't want people inside your ecosystem who are not your people. You only want your people in your ecosystem. That's the only way it's going to work. So this is the filter. The filter has brought in people with the keywords. You've been able to speak to them using the SEO gate that brought them there. You're able to speak to them how you want to speak to them. And now you're able to move them into the next step, which is inside of your ecosystem. And from there, you can speak to them however you want to speak to them. This is the winner. If you could get here, you won. You don't need no SEO. Once they're inside of here, you don't need SEO to speak to them anymore. The SEO game is over. You can speak to them how you want to speak to them. So that's the cool thing about it. Focus on getting your blog content created so that you can take them into that next step. Focus on getting them through this gate. This billions of people who are going to be your ideal customer going through those gates, getting them into that blog so that they can take the next step. All right, that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you can understand the thinking behind using blogs. This is a long game, but when you can understand that the long game, you just put in the work, you put in the research, it'll make a big difference for you in your business. So that's all I have today. Thanks for joining me. I will see you in the next one.
So I got a question for you. How is it going inside of your business? What is the outlook for the next 6 months? Can you see light at the end of the tunnel? Or are you coming up against roadblock after roadblock after roadblock that seems like there's no end in sight? Well, I've got good news for you. Today, you're tuning in, you're listening in, and I appreciate you so much. And I know what it's like to be in your shoes because I am in your shoes. I am doing the same thing you're doing. Creating a business is not easy. And I'm right there with you, and I have this guide that I know will help you out. It's called the Fast Profitable Online Business Guide. It's straightforward, it's simple, and it covers the 3 building blocks of an online business. What should you be focusing on? What's going to make the biggest difference? How to position yourself? What kind of strategies should you be using? And it also has some of the most common mistakes that business owners make and how you can avoid them. Now, like I said, you've tuned in, you're listening in, I appreciate you so much, and I want you to grab that guide for free today. All you got to do is go down below this episode, there's a link, or you can go ahead and just go to ecreatebiz.com/guide. That's GUIDE, and you just simply grab your guide there. That's ecreatebiz.com/guide, GUIDE, or just click the link below this episode. You've got nothing to lose. It's there for you. Again, I appreciate you so much for tuning in and listening today.